So if you'll remember back a few slides ago, we were talking about the word secular. Secular is a worldly viewpoint that is not really based on anything that the church has going on or what it said or anything like that. So remember, you need to know that word. That's an important word to know, secular. Okay, so secularism and individualism of the Renaissance was most apparent in the intellectual and the artistic movement. So we're going to talk about the artistic movements in a little while, but in this particular set right here, we're going to talk about humanism. One intellectual movement was humanism. Humanism is based on the classics, the literary works of ancient Greece and Rome, and humanists studied subjects that are now known as the humanities. You are right now in a humanities class. All of your basic classes that you have to take, the math, science, social studies, your language class, any kind of class, a rhetoric class. I know we don't have rhetoric at this school, but you kind of learn rhetoric in English in your English classes, but there's not one that's just specifically rhetoric. Humanists studied these stuff, for example, poetry, philosophy, and history. So they figured out that if you study these things, it's going to help you to think for yourself. That's why you take history, is so that you can learn to think. You can learn to judge the things that you've seen in the past to make a good, solid decision as to what would happen if I did that, what's going to be the outcome, so that you can think about things before you do them, so that you can know what people have done in the past and therefore what we are capable of. So take, for example, there's a quote we learned about in the very first of the school year. History is for human self-knowledge. The only clue to what man can do is what man has done. The value of history, then, is that it teaches us what man has done and thus what man is. It's from a historian, a famous historian. His name is R.G. Collingwood. So we figured out at this point that it's really important for us to study the things of the past and to be able to make sure that we are making really good decisions. So the people of Europe, right here, yeah, in the meme back there, really start looking more toward humanism for answers to things than going to the church and asking them what their opinion is. So that's the reason why this is really important, is because it's going to shift us from understanding that the church doesn't necessarily always have the answer. So maybe we might need to go and pick out our own answer because of things that we've studied from the past.